A Durban comedian is the latest victim in a series of shootings in Wentworth Township. It's believed he was in the area when the vehicle he was traveling in was shot at. The comedian drove himself to the hospital for treatment. Now, for more on this, let's have a chat to our reporter, Dasan Tathia, who is coming to us, of course, from Durban. A very good afternoon to you, Dasan. Now, obviously, the first question becomes, he is somebody who is known, he is a comedian. Was this a hit or was it a random shooting at him?
Morena, the sad part about this is that is just one of several shootings that have taken place in Wentworth, not only over the past few years, but just in the past week alone. In fact, just yesterday, the residents here tell me that there were 3 other shootings, apart from that shooting that you mentioned where the comedian was struck. That is something that's believed to be a case of mistaken identity. People around here, at least the residents, believe that he was caught in the crossfire, and that is unfortunately what is affecting this area. There are many people that have no dealings in any sort of illicit trade or in the drug trade, but they find themselves being caught up in it when gunmen randomly open fire. And just to illustrate my point, look at this wall behind me. I'm on Tiflin Road in Wentworth, and this is an incident that took place about 2 months ago, where there were some boys that were sitting outside here, as well as a lady, and gunmen came past, opened fire. They shot the lady in her face, as well as another gentleman that was seated outside. The scary thing about it is how almost normalized this has become. I'm going to take you just across the road here to some of the community members who were here when the latest incidents took place yesterday. I was chatting to this young lady, Aliyah Pepper, a little while ago. Aliyah, just briefly talk to me about what happened when you were here yesterday and gunmen opened fire.
There was a car parked here in the bottom of the road. They were parked for quite a while, and 2 guys in the vehicle from our road were on the top of the road debating on going to go fetch another friend, not knowing that the hitmen are here watching them. They had waited for them to flee to catch the other guy. As he was walking down the road, they started up and they took open fire at him. They still knocked him. He managed to escape. He ran into the lane where they started firing. The kids were fully on the road. They were screaming and running. Now police came and attended the scene. There's still shells up till now, still laying on the road. Wentworth police, we need to do something about them. We need the Minister, Becky Taylor, to come and address the situation that is happening in Wentworth, around all of Wentworth and around on Tiflin Road.
Thank you very much, Aliyah Pepper. And Morena, just to add to that, there was a lady that I ran into here just earlier when we were interviewing residents, and she said, an elderly lady, she's about 60 years old, and she said that as she was walking past a park also yesterday, she was also grazed by a bullet, but fortunately she didn't sustain any serious injuries and was treated in hospital. I want to bring in Andre de Bruin, who's a community activist. Andre, it seems like we are constantly having this conversation about drug wars and shootings that are taking place in the area. There's been a resurgence now, once again, of this kind of gang violence. What is driving it?
Number one, the community is angry. The community is now hostage now. Innocent people are getting shot out of this drug turf war. Wentworth Police Station is not doing enough. We need the Minister of Police to come here. We don't want the postman. We don't want the postman anymore. We want the postmaster. Is Wentworth being treated as the illegitimate children of South Africa?
So you say that you're not happy with the policing in this area?
Absolutely. They got their hands tied behind their backs on resources. We've got shells that are still being left laying around over here. So then it just shows you the competence of the police that were sent out. We want POP to be stationed here, and the army must come in.
There have been previous deployments of police that we've seen over the past few years, especially after these incidents. Has that helped at all?
That was cosmetic. That was cosmetic. Where is the intelligence? Every police station runs off intelligence. Why is the intelligence so poor or no intelligence in Wentworth? Why must the man on the street, the loyal taxpayer, why must they suffer the consequences? It's bad enough to be under house arrest on COVID. Now, when we got the time to go out and do our shopping and do this here, people, children, parents are even now frightened to go out because the drive-by shootings between Hime Street, Tifflin Road and Lansdowne Road is getting out of control. So the minister needs to come and address us. That's what we want.
Thank you very much, Andre Dubrain, there, just a community activist. Clear call then for the police minister to intervene in this ongoing violence in Wentworth. And, you know, what he's saying is no exaggeration. We've been spending most of the day in this area talking to residents, and we've been out to some of the areas that have been affected. And that's exactly what other residents are saying, that they would be outside just sitting in broad daylight, and there are gunmen that appear in vehicles, open fire randomly, and many people, just innocent lives, being lost. In other cases, many people just being seriously injured as a result of what residents are calling an ongoing turf war.
Thank you very much. Dasan Tathia, our reporter out in Durban. He's in